Viv, as a past curator of the museum here, you've watched this organisation grow over the years, as I have from being a little boy. In the 50s, I think it was, when a Swedish missionary started this project. I think there was a drought in Zululand, I heard. And a lot's gone on since then, and maybe you could just fill us in a little bit about the history, why it started, and objectives of it.
This museum actually dates from much later. What happened was at the end of the 60s, that's when the drought occurred. And the crafters came to the Swedish missionary, the Reverend Chennells, and asked him for assistance. And he started to sell their work overseas. Now, because this became so successful, the Evangelical Lutheran Church, which had then formed as a combination of all the Lutheran churches, asked him to formalize it into an organization which he and the crafters called the Vukani Association. And the objective was to teach them new skills. They opened workshops, they did all sorts of things, and Chell and his wife Bertha and their assistant Baba Elliot Grudla, they sold all this work overseas. So an enormous amount of the changes that came in then are due to the Vukani effect, which is basically what did the European market want. So there's an immediate change there from the very plain work that was done before, extremely functional, but absolutely plain, to this much more ornamented work. So if anybody comes to you and starts telling you about the deep traditions of these patterns, the answer is rubbish. They're not. The beadwork is a different matter. That was patterned right from way back. So we've been trying to keep track of the changes. And at the moment we are in a situation where there are new changes, massive changes, because firstly, there is difficulty getting the raw materials that used to be available. If you think of a carver who liked to use certain woods, those woods are now protected by izimvelo. So he can't get them anymore. He's not even allowed to go into the forest to pick up dead fall. Certain grasses are not easily khamba. The ones that are most popular for mat weaving, for instance. And when it comes to clay, a number of the old traditional clay banks have been dug out. And for instance, there is one very well-known one where people were killed when the bank collapsed. And that's now taboo. You can't use it anymore. So a lot of the old materials are not really as readily available. Secondly, an enormous number of the skills that were previously used are not used anymore. Imisi grass work, very fine, storyboards, things like that. People have lost the skill to make them. And then the last thing, the big change that's happening now, is the younger generation doesn't want to carry on with this. So where a particular family would bring me 100 pots to choose from, now they're bringing me 12. Because the youngsters, the old people are getting arthritis, carpal tunnel, things like that, and the youngsters are saying, we're educated, we're not going to do this, it's labourers' work. The people who are coming up, who would be artists in whatever culture they were born into, are now moving to painting, to embroidery, to totally new crafts, but they are still reflecting their traditions as they work in the new crafts. So massive changes.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And you can also tell us about some of the different disciplines, some of the more famous artists, and any stories you can tell me about some of the characters that you've met.
One thing that I have noticed is that where 50 years ago, 60 years ago even, every housewife, every house husband was able to do anything they needed. If you needed a basket, you made it. If you needed a pot, you made it. Whereas today, certain areas are specializing. So around Eshowe, for instance, within 100 kilometers, you have the best potters by a long country mile. Around Mpembeni, Hlui, up near the game reserves, you have the best basket weavers. The carving has mostly been from Mpangeni northwards along the coast. So you're finding certain areas are definitely producing better work than others. And a lot of this has to do with certain outstanding artists. For instance, the Nesta Nala not only taught 5 daughters to become good potters, but she upgraded this entire area in which we live. So everybody was trying to reach her standard. And that is the reason why around here we're getting these amazingly talented people. And in the Mpembeni area, you had Rubin Ndwandwe. And Rubin, I like to say we have weavers, master weavers, and then somewhere up here we have Rubin Ndwandwe because his work is immaculate. There is not a flaw in it. He has now passed away, but his legacy is that that area produces incredible work. So we do have work by these amazing people. We have done our best to collect as much as we can. So as a result, we have very good collections for both Nesta and Rubin. And now we're bringing in the new people who are coming up, or the ones who have developed over the last 10 years.